I am a ghost messenger. He is also known as the Grim Reaper by everyone. At that moment I was squatting in the operating room urging the doctor, "Miss, hurry up and make a move. I'm rushing to get off work." Then the doctor gave me a blank look. "Don't do it." I slowly typed a question mark. Are doctors these days really this willful? I'm a ghost officer. His daily task was to lure the dying person to the underworld. However, recently my work has suffered a major setback. The reason was the woman in front of him. A month ago I was following a group of family members, waiting at the operating room entrance for the surgery to end. Begging is useless. You can't survive. Mortals cannot see me. I crossed my legs and watched as I knelt on the ground again. He kowtowed and chanted, shaking his head loudly. "It's all a constancy. Look away." Time came, the surgery door opened. I stood up, ready to summon the soul. Unexpectedly, the person who came out was a doctor. The operation was successful. Her voice was cold, her eyes full of weariness. What does successful surgery mean? I quickly flipped through the job roster. The upper part was supposed to be taken by me. The name of the soul disappeared as expected. In my 99-year career, this is the first time I've encountered something like this. What situation? I looked at the doctor, his face full of shock. "You saved this person. What right do you have to snatch someone from the king of hell?" After I finished speaking, I wasn't sure if it was just my imagination. The doctor glanced in my direction. Then he left expressionlessly. From that day on, within my jurisdiction, the souls he was taking away were becoming fewer and fewer. The names on the list also disappeared one by one. It was all thanks to this man who saved them. I am furious beyond control. This year is my last year as a ghost messenger. As long as I complete the task smoothly, I will. One can be reincarnated. This guy. But well, he became a stepping stone on my path back to life. I searched everywhere for information. In the end, it was my colleague Xiaoqi who helped me get it. Here is some useful information. This person is named Zhang Ling. Ghosts give the nickname Ghost See Sorrow. She shook her head. All because of her. Back then, the ghost police in the Jiang People's Hospital area were all worried to death. It took him 2 or 3 years longer to be reborn. And that's thanks to her otherwise, who knows if he'd have to endure it. How many years will it take to complete the task? I was shocked. I don't want to wait that long. There was no other way. For example, using a little trick to scare her during surgery. The doctor is here to save lives. I'll carry halos. Demons and monsters can't get close. This really is a case of ghostly sorrow. Waiting to die isn't an option. I decided to wait until Zhang Ling's surgery. Go in and find out in person. Let's see what kind of spell she used to save someone. At this moment, the person lying in the operating room. It was a young man. I glanced at the roster details. He died of heart disease at the age of 19. I walked around him with my hands behind my back, spraying twice. On the road to the Yellow Springs, there is no age or younger. I've seen someone younger than her. At this moment, there was no real turmoil. I only hope this will help me lead the way to success. The door to surgery was pushed open. Zhang Ling walked in dressed in surgical clothes. It's pretty beautiful. I knew she couldn't see me, but she still leaned in with her mouth. "Dr. Jiang, I'm counting on you today. Hurry up and make sure I get off work soon." I don't know. Was it just his imagination? Zhang Ling's hand paused slightly. Her brows furrowed even tighter. "Dr. Jiang, is it time to begin?" At that moment, the nurse came out and called out to her. Zhang Ling nodded slightly. I started to get excited. Hurry up, hurry up. With the strike, I can take him with me. Shut up. Zhang Ling suddenly spoke. I followed the nurses and looked at her at the same time. The nurse was baffled. "Dr. Jiang, I didn't say anything. Not about you." I glanced. Could Zhang Ling have some kind of mental issue? Zhang Ling's face seemed to darken. "Look in my direction. Get out." This time, his gaze fell precisely. Came to me. I looked around to make sure no one else was stunned. "You can see me." Too shocked to have caused me at any time. Those who come out don't even know. Just as Xiaoqi said, saving others is the act of accumulating virtue and doing good deeds. Even ghost messengers are not allowed to interfere. Once I leave the operating room, I can't go back in. All I can do is sit outside, waiting idly for the surgery to fail. I sat cross-legged outside. He glanced around and felt something was off. In the past, there were always many family members waiting outside. Why is it that this child has such a big surgery, and there's no one outside? But no one is any quieter. Every time she cried and cried, it made my ears hurt. This surgery took an unusually long time. I waited so long that I fell asleep. I don't know how much time had passed before the door finally opened, so I hurried. He leaned in and stretched his neck inside, waiting for the soul to float out. Look no further. No one died. In that moment, I didn't know who I was. Shouldn't I be surprised? She really can see me. Or should I be shocked? I've already stepped into the gates of hell, and was rescued by her once again. The surgery of more than a dozen Xiaojiangs was revealed. But Jiang Ling was already utterly exhausted. After leaving those words, she strode away. How could I sit still like this? Where are you going? When will you see me? Do you know what I do? Until she walked into a room. He slammed the door shut in front of me. I had only been silent for a few seconds before touching my heart, which had long since stopped beating. You almost scared me out of my heart condition. Then he walked straight through the door panel and said with a grin, "Didn't expect it, right? I could walk through walls." As soon as I finished speaking, I looked up and saw Jiang Ling changing clothes. With a no wits not to look at the uncourteous attitude, I quickly covered my face. His fingers parted, revealing his eyes. "What are you going to do?" Jiang Ling slowly took off her surgical gown. "Take off your hat and mask and throw them away." The trash bin looked at me. "Accepted you. It's not funny at all." I wondered if Jiang Ling could see it. This matter will be much easier for me. We'll discuss it with her then. From now on, if I want to lure anyone away, she won't save her. Wouldn't it be wonderful if I successfully completed KPIs and then reincarnated? What if this person is hard to talk to? Scaring her is fine, right? After all, I am a noble ghost officer. Perform a 360-degree neck rotation. Can scare mortals into panic. Steeling myself, I followed Jiang Ling all the way home. Just as she entered, Jiang Ling, who had been walking into the room, suddenly turned around. I can't avoid it. Just as he was about to smile along with his mouth, I heard her say, "Take off your shoes." I was stunned. I wondered if this person was crazy. I'm a ghost, not a human. When walking in daily life, you don't touch your feet and don't take off any shoes. Just as he was about to argue, he looked up and met Lang Bingbing's. That look startled me so much my heart skipped a beat. He quickly took off his shoes. Jiang Ling's apartment was spacious and clean. I've also drawn the souls of many people at home. But this time, I reluctantly considered myself a guest at their home, obediently sitting on the sofa, waiting to negotiate with Jiang Ling. But unexpectedly, after entering, Jiang Ling acted as if she hadn't seen me. I changed clothes, showered, and went to bed on my own. This obviously didn't take me to this one. Respect the ghost's friends. I flipped the door open and floated into the bedroom. He said to the woman lying quietly on the bed, "Do you know who I am?" Jiang Ling didn't even lift her eyelids and responded with a hum. "This is knowing. Knowing that you still dare to be so careless. Looks like if you don't give her a solid version of her. They really treat bean buns as nothing but dry food." I moved my stiff neck. I was about to show off my specialty. Just as I was about to start, someone grabbed my neck and I was stunned. "If anything happens, wait until I wake up. Can we be quiet for a while now?" Although he was discussing it with me, but I clearly heard the threat in it. I quickly got to know the location of Jingwu. She nodded and told her to let go of me quickly, probably because they don't trust me. Jiang Ling pressed down slightly. She dragged him straight onto the bed. She pinned him tightly to him. This time I didn't even dare to breathe loudly, curled up like a little quail. After a while, Jiang Ling's breathing was steady, and she should have fallen asleep. I just breathed a sigh of relief. He carefully pulled his body out, but the shock in his heart was nothing short of a raging storm. Jiang Ling not only saw me, but even touched me. Xiao Qi once told me, "In this human world you can see ghosts and monsters. Except for a very few with the yin-yang eye, those who are about to die are the ones who will die." What kind of person does Jiang Ling belong to? Jiang Ling slept soundly this time. He only woke up when it was completely dark. I was originally sitting cross-legged on one side of the living room, cracking sunflower seeds while watching TV. Seeing Jiang Ling get up and run over. "You wake up, why are you still here?" I pretended not to hear the disdain in Jiang Ling's tone. He handed over a handful of sunflower seeds. I bought it on purpose. Specially supplied to the underworld. Try. Jiang Ling ignored me and reached out. She walked straight to the living room. Ghosts still watch horror movies. My mouth. Foreign breeds of vampires. You say their clothes look so good. Not like us. As I spoke, I looked down at my own black robe. At a time like this, still wearing a black robe. Not keeping up with the times at all. Jiang Ling looked at me with a complicated expression. He strode to the kitchen and poured himself a glass of water. Go ahead. What do you follow me? Finally, we got to the point, so I leaned in. Introduce yourself. I am a ghost messenger. Responsible for soul-guiding work in this area. Just today you had surgery. That young man was already at the end of his lifespan. The soul should have been taken away by me. I observed her expression. No surprise or surprise shown. The fear of those who are clearly aware of the situation. But you saved her. I know you are a great doctor, but as the saying goes, life and death are determined by fate. Wealth and honor are determined by heaven. Isn't it a bit inappropriate for you to act so recklessly? Since he was already alive. It's just about defying fate. I opened my mouth but couldn't get a reply. But this is unreasonable. Her life and death ledger had already clearly recorded her lifespan. How can it be changed so casually? I'm not a ghost messenger. I don't care about your life or death. Jiang Ling put down her cup. His deep brown eyes looked at me. You have your responsibilities and I have mine. Isn't it good that we each perform our duties and don't interfere with each other? That made sense. But I just feel something is off. Jiang Ling sat on the sofa I had just sat on. He turned off the TV and said slowly, since there are no other issues, you should leave early. The paths of humans and ghosts are different, so I won't keep you any longer. I frowned and walked out. Took a moment to react. That's not right. You've already held me back. So how can you call it non-interference? I held her back. Jiang Ling raised an eyebrow and beckoned me over. I leaned in and heard Jiang Ling say, is it possible that your skills are yours? It was my lack of skill that allowed me to take advantage of the opportunity. If you insult me, I can question my professional skills. I opened my mouth wanting to argue. In the end, he couldn't think of anything powerful. Case studies prove their professional capabilities. He could only turn away in anger. This is really infuriating. As the saying goes, knowing yourself and your enemy leads to victory. After leaving her home, I returned to my workplace in the afterlife. He started searching Jiang Ling's personal information in the system. The result disappointed me. Yet this person was nowhere to be found. That's impossible. I checked it twice and found the result exactly the same. Xiao Qi. Is there a problem with our system? Xiao Qi came over and followed me in searching twice, shaking her head. In my opinion, this person has a distinguished background. I advise you to avoid it. I didn't want to provoke her, but now she's the one provoking me. There's only one large hospital in my jurisdiction, and now such a living immortal has arrived. He single-handedly cut the mortality rate by half. If this continues, I really will finish next year. No quotas, no fetal replacement. At worst, just do it like the one in M-City and work for another 2 years. After all, it's been 100 years here. When the time comes, come reincarnate with me. Maybe in the future we'll even be neighbors. I can't do it for another 2 years. It's too late. Xiao Qi was puzzled by this. What is there to be in a hurry to be reborn? I made an agreement with someone. Reincarnated after 100 years. Xiao Qi couldn't help but laugh. You must be mistaken. Before we started our duties, we all drank Mengpo soup. How could you possibly remember any promises? Maybe it's just a dream. It will take 100 years to reincarnate. Someone is waiting for me, but I can't remember who that person was. But all I know is that the promise period is 100 years. Not a day can be delayed. A few days later, my life and death were on the verge of death. Another person's name appeared. It was still the same young man from that day. It's not Jiang Ling's fault for lacking medical skills. It's just that this person himself doesn't really want to live. He had no will to survive. Even immortals couldn't help. I arrived early at the hospital and waited by his bedside. He planned to take her away as soon as the time was up. 2 nurses were chatting idly at the door. This guy with bed 12 is probably doomed. Mainly because of him, both his parents passed away. There's no hope of living alone. It's just a pity for Dr. Zhang's money. The nurse sighed. How much does a heart surgery cost? Dr. Zhang didn't even notice before helping to dig it out. And it was a surgery performed by herself. If he passed away, wouldn't all the money be wasted? My ears twitched. Jiang Ling paid for the medical expenses. I stared at his face for a long time. He couldn't figure out any reason. She's not as big as a bodhisattva's flower. Why bother saving someone who's dying with the strength? But it's not my fault. I glanced and saw there were only 10 minutes left. Just as I stretched my muscles, I was about to take her away. Suddenly, a voice rang out. Immediately prepare for rescue. The door to the ward was suddenly pushed open. Jiang Ling, dressed in a white robe, rushed in quickly. You're gonna ruin my plans again. I reached out to block the way. You can't save this person. Jiang Ling frowned, trying to avoid me. Only then did I realize I was in the river. Even before the spirit, he wasn't invisible. But I think so. She can naturally touch my body directly. Nor can it pass directly through me. Only 10 minutes left. I put in so much effort. But this time I can't let him get away again. My eyes darted around, and I reached out and hugged Jiang Ling directly. Life and death are determined by heaven. How could an ordinary person like you repeatedly defy fate? Besides, fate had never given him a chance. He himself didn't cherish it. Let me go. 8 minutes left. I tightened my arm to continue persuading. That's just how you doctors are. I always feel like I can defy fate. He himself doesn't want to live. So why do you and I still haven't lived? After saying that, Jiang Ling suddenly looked up and kissed me. The movement was so sudden that I even completely forgot to break free and evade. The kiss moved incredibly fast. So fast that I had no time to react. In a daze, his arm went limp. Jiang Ling strode into the emergency room. In my ear was a sentence she had left with. The person I want to save is the one who rushes to the King of Hell's Hall. I have to snatch it back for her. I have no heart. The place in my heart no longer felt like it was beating. But I don't know why at this moment. But the empty spot suddenly twitched forcefully. After a long time, perhaps the surgery took even longer than the last time before the door opened. It was actually that young man who came out. I was stunned. Did Jiang Ling fail? I should applaud. He should have immediately walked in and mocked Jiang Ling. Tell her this world is not you. You can save whoever you want. We all have to leave it to fate. But in that instant my heart sank a little. Su Huan's eyes carried a hint of confusion. Like all souls who walk out of this door, he wasn't afraid when he saw me, nor did I cry, regret, or cry like other souls. I think you look a little familiar. Before I could say anything, Su Huan looked at me and asked you, tilted his head and furrowed his brows in confusion. You and I look alike. Is it the same? Looks the same. I don't know what I look like. Ghosts can't see in a mirror. Through Su Huan's semi-transparent body, my gaze fell on the emergency room. Inside, Jiang Ling's face was pale. She held a device in her hand. He was still making his final efforts on Su Huan's body. The person is already dead, so why cling to it? Pursed my lips. The empty spot felt terribly uncomfortable. Some fragments even flashed by in an instant. In the clip, I am lying in a hospital bed. There have also been people who kept trying to save me like this. Teo's eyes were filled with madness. A sentence rang in his ear. Even if I rush to the King of Hell's Hall, I'll snatch you back. You go back, I said to Su Huan. Live well. Don't let those who want you to live disappointed. With that, I waved my hand and directly took it. The soul was drawn back to the operating room. I left the hospital before the surgery was over. The fact that Su Huan was spared was still found out by the leadership. Not only did he publicly issue criticisms, but he also let all ghosts serve as a warning. They even penalized me for a month's worth of performance. The already struggling family made things even worse. No matter how I think about it, the more I lose. Jiang Ling stole my performance. Getting criticized for me was one thing, and I missed my first kiss as a ghost. The more I think about it, the more restless I feel. That night, I went to Jiang Ling's house to negotiate with her. Unexpectedly, this person wasn't in the bedroom. I drifted around and heard movement in the bathroom. After a moment, I swallowed hard but still didn't forget to close the door. Blind, 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 I'm blind. I hadn't calmed down yet, and the bathroom door opened again. At this moment, Jiang Ling was already wearing a gray bathrobe. He looked at me and raised his eyebrows. Even ghosts blush. Of course, the ghost wouldn't blush. This statement was purely fabricated by this person. I found Jiang Ling quite interesting. In the hospital he always wore that stern, deadly face. But once at home he could make people furious. He was a two-faced person. I snorted coldly, deciding to show some of the aura of a ghost messenger. I have come today to discuss matters with you. Jiang Ling raised an eyebrow and looked at me. I continued, you steal my people every day. Tell me, what exactly are you trying to do? Jiang Ling dragged out the last sound and let out an "oh" at the end. After all this talk, you're here to beg me. Am I? Jiang Ling tapped her knee. Asking for help should look like asking for help. To put it nicely, maybe I can save 2 less people. Do you really think I'm joking with you? I slapped the coffee table and blew my beard, glaring at him. I'm a ghost officer. Keep grinning with me. Believe it or not, I can reach out and take you. This mortal twisted his neck. Jiang Ling remained motionless. He wasn't intimidated at all by my presence. In the end, I had no choice but to put my hands together. Sister, I'm begging you. Leave me a way out. You say you're not part of the Avengers either. Why do you always cause trouble for me? Thanos? As soon as I finished speaking, Jiang Ling burst out laughing. 2 faint dimples appeared at the corners of her mouth. It's been 100 years. You can flex and stretch, smooth talker. His vigor hadn't changed at all. Have you seen me before? Jiang Ling knows me. This was completely beyond my expectations. I have been a ghost messenger for 100 years, and the souls I have drawn are in the tens of thousands. I can be sure I have never seen the person in front of me. But if you say this person is me, an old friend from when he was alive. I've been a government official for 100 years, so what about her? He must be over 100 years old. She doesn't look like someone this old at all. Jiang Ling had already stood up. Why let him go? Who will you let go? Su Huan. My heart skipped a beat. How did she know I let Su Huan go? As if she had guessed my question, Jiang Ling smiled. I'm a doctor, so she knows best whether the surgery is successful. I didn't speak. Jiang Ling got up and took a can of cola from the fridge. I heard you worked hard for 99 years. He never let a single ghost go. Is it because of me that you broke your vow now? Of course not. I shouted loudly at once. You don't put gold on your face. That's why. I want to say it's because I sympathize with that girl. But the ghost messenger simply doesn't have that kind of emotion. You can't say why. Jiang Ling suddenly laughed. But his smile was mixed with many others. A different kind of emotion I can't understand. She tilted her head back and took a sip of cola. Do me a favor. Help. I raised my eyebrows. You keep me as a servant all day, so why should I help you? As long as you're willing to help me, I won't interfere with your work anymore. My ears twitched. Go ahead. What a bus. I want Su Huan to keep living. I don't understand what that means. Isn't he already alive? Jiang Ling shook her head. The operation failed. He himself lacked the will to live. Even if you didn't lure him away, he still became a living dead. The soul will drift among the mortal world. In that case, I'll take him in. He must live, unable to leave the netherworld. But Jiang Ling shook her head and didn't explain to me. I don't understand. The only thing I can do is summon souls. Since you want him to live, then save him yourself. What do you want me to do? I want his name to be erased from the Book of Life and Death. He was dismissed. Only the dead can be transformed from yin and yang. The life and death record of the 2 realms is removed from office. But Jiang Ling also wanted Su Huan to live. They wanted him to escape the jurisdiction of the 2 realms. Impossible. 1 name corresponds to 1 soul. Can't escape. What if I were to trade myself for Su Huan's life? I didn't understand. Jiang Ling looked at me. Now Su Huan's only life was his heart. Only by performing a transplant can they be saved. My heart will be exchanged for him. And you lead my soul away. My name is not on the Book of Life and Death. No one will notice. You are crazy. I didn't know where my overwhelming anger was coming from. Logically, Jiang Ling should have died faster. The earlier it is for my performance recovery, the more favorable it will be. But after she finished sharing her plan, I became so agitated. Who exactly is this Su Huan? She deserves what you do for her. All because of the doctor's kindness. Only you can help me with this. I clenched my fists. Can't help. Occasionally, a few drifting ghosts drift along the road. As soon as he got close, he was scared away by my gum-toothed mouth. Afraid that if I get upset, I'll send you back to the underworld. Even ghosts linger in the mortal world. I really don't know what Jiang Ling is thinking. Yet you still have to go to hell for someone else. This doctor really thinks he's a living bodhisattva. I wander aimlessly. By the time he realized what was happening. And then they arrived at the hospital again. I drifted into Su Huan's room. At this moment, he was the only one in the ward. Years of heart disease left this boy in check, much thinner than ordinary people. Do you look like me? I touched my face. She had long forgotten her own appearance. Why don't you want to live? I rested my chin on my hand, watching the young man talk to himself. Isn't it good to be alive? If living is not good, why in this world? So many people are struggling to survive. Even I am giving my all to be reincarnated. But no one replied to me. Su Huan's breath was so weak it was almost impossible. A person with a faint breath, with no desire to live, even his soul grew weaker and weaker. How do you think? The door to the ward was pushed open. I knew Jiang Ling had arrived. I turned my head. You really are more haunting than a ghost. Jiang Ling chuckled softly. She stood by the window with her hands behind her back. The moonlight shone on her, warming her eyes. She spoke suddenly. I've lived for over 100 years. My pupils suddenly tightened. I didn't expect her to tell me about this. He has been a doctor for over 100 years and has saved countless people. The only regret is that I couldn't save my beloved. I quietly waited for her follow-up. When I was born, the world was far from peaceful. I was being forced to operate on enemy troops with guns pointed at me. What joy is there in life, and what fear is there in death? I'm not afraid of death. Jiang Ling looked at the moonlight. But my Xiao ended up killing my husband. They took his heart away. She paused. I searched for him for 100 years. Now that I found you, do you say I should save you or not? I felt a bit uncomfortable. But I have no heart. The heart does not feel pain. I know all discomfort stems from it. In his own fantasies about pain. Do you think Su Huan is your husband? I shook my head. Impossible. You must have admitted your mistake. Jiang Ling, maybe you don't know. But not all ghosts have hearts. A ghost without a heart cannot be reincarnated. Just like you. I stopped. After a long silence, he finally spoke with a bitter smile. Like me. He had been a ghost messenger for 100 years. Even if you achieve your goals, you can't be reincarnated. Why are you working so hard? Because I want to live. Even knowing it's impossible, she still wants to give it a try. Jiang Ling looked at me, her voice light and floating. Isn't it good to be like you? So I will remain with you forever in the underworld. Wouldn't it be better to live through all these lifetimes? His heart stirred slightly. Forever stay with Jiang Ling in the underworld. If I really can't return to life, then stay with this doctor every day. It seems to be good. I don't want to admit my feelings for Jiang Ling. I think it's probably because Jiang Ling is much prettier than Shao Qi. Su Huan lay in the hospital bed the whole time, never waking up. He had no idea about Jiang Ling's sacrifice. I am a ghost. I don't understand their human emotions. But somehow it felt especially tragic and heroic. There was even a somewhat indescribable jealousy. I attribute this feeling to ghosts' envy of humans. You guys are really strange. I watched Jiang Ling fiddle with the sleeping pill bottle. Prepare to carry out your suicide plan. Even if Su Huan really was your husband back then. What is the point of reviving him? You can't stay with him anymore. It's better to let him die and you do it. A pair of ghost charioteers is pretty good too. Don't you want me to die? Jiang Ling asked me. If I die, you will take my soul. Taking it will count as your achievement. Such falsified performance is better off than done. I was about to say something. Jiang Ling reached out and pulled me right next to her, lying side by side with her on the bed. I was startled. Thinking of getting up, Jiang Ling grabbed him. I'm going to die. Lie down beside me and keep me company. I've never seen anyone make so many demands before dying. I'm different. I am a living dead carrying 100 years of resentment. Judging by his tone, he sounded quite proud. I lay beside her and gently exhaled. I'm a ghost messenger who just keeps being so low-key. Now he still has to risk himself. Jiang Ling reached out and wrapped her arm around my waist. I twisted awkwardly. Don't take an inch. All he got was a low chuckle. Then I looked at her holding the handle up. He stuffed the medicine into his mouth, swallowing it with the water. I slowly closed my eyes and soon fell asleep. The room fell silent. Jiang Ling breathed steadily. I knew she would slowly die. Looking at her sleeping profile, I felt terribly upset. I shook my eyelashes. Taking advantage of her unconscious moment, she bent down. He went up and kissed Zhang Ling on the lips. I heard I looked just like Su Huan. He didn't die, so you can't be a ghost couple. Why don't I just let you have my way? Secretly kissing me. As soon as I finished speaking, I suddenly heard Zhang Ling's voice. I was so scared I almost jumped up. Why so fast? To be quick, I switched from plain boiled water to medicine. She took it with sleeping pills. Luckily, he died quickly. Otherwise, I wouldn't even know if you took advantage of me. You kissed me before too. Right now, I just want to give it back. Zhang Ling responded with an, "Oh, what kind of attitude is this? Do you not believe me?" I was furious. You're just an ordinary kid right now. I'm a ghost officer, show me some respect. Zhang Ling's lips curled into a slight smile. She brushed my hand and responded with a hum. Stop trying to get close to me. I pretended to shake him off. Zhang Ling did not let go. Didn't you just want to be my ghost couple? She even heard this. I really can't live anymore. After Zhang Ling's death, he followed the will. The organ was transplanted onto Su Huan. Through surgical glass, my soul and I were present. He bet on the entire surgery process. The heart was stored inside Su Huan's body. I always feel like my chest is in the same place. That spot was a bit fuller than before. Zhang Ling, I feel a bit off. I glanced sideways. Zhang Ling wiped my hand even tighter. Lure me back to the underworld. Zhang Ling smiled. I will be your century-long career. The last trace of soul drawn in by the soul. The final trace of soul. What does that mean? But I couldn't find out. Because when I lifted my foot, my heart ached from being pulled. I held it tightly. That kind of pain is the same as I had imagined before. It's completely different. Forcing myself to walk Zhang Ling and me through the gates of the underworld. The pain in the heart intensified. I instantly lost consciousness. The moment before I fainted, I was fine. It was as if he heard Zhang Ling's voice. Live well. When I woke up again, I was lying in a hospital bed. The air smells of disinfectant water. There was still a beeping sound in my ears. It was the sound of a life detector beeping. There wasn't a single spot on his body that didn't hurt. How could I feel pain if I were a ghost? The door to the room opened. A familiar figure walked in from inside. I recognized it. She was one of the nurses who had previously assisted Zhang Ling during surgery. Don't worry. The surgery was very successful. What is she talking about? I tried hard to speak, but I couldn't muster the strength at all. Can't hurry. You should rest well. Wait a few days until you have the strength to speak again. When the nurse left my sight, she patrolled the room. Suddenly, it landed on the edge of the bed at his feet, where the list was attached. On it were 2 words. Su Huan. My eyes twitched slightly. He gave it his all and moved his fingers. It is alive. But I became Su Huan. I lay in the hospital for a full 2 months. The doctor said I recovered quickly. No rejection reactions in any bodily function. I asked if there was one in the hospital. A doctor named Zhang Ling. However, everyone said they had never heard of it. I asked myself again where my heart came from. They said it was provided by a charity organization. Specific details are unknown. I am an orphan with a congenital heart condition. My parents worked to help me with medical treatment. He died in a car accident en route. After I heard the news, I had a heart attack. He was sent to the hospital and was helped by a charity organization. Afterwards, the heart transplant surgery was successful. The story sounds very complete. But why is Zhang Ling not present? No one knew her. No one had even heard of this name. I no longer know what to do with the fan. Is my life of serving as a servant for 100 years real or fake? Life gradually became smoother. One day, I went to a bookstore to buy a book. Suddenly, I heard someone call me Old Joe. My chest tightened instinctively, and I turned around. A pink-haired girl waved at me. A certain point in my memory was triggered, and I was a bit too scared to recognize it. Xiaoqi, not bad. You actually haven't forgotten me. Xiaoqi ran over excitedly. I didn't expect you to be heartless. He actually managed to escape the underworld. So it really wasn't a dream. Xiaoqi looked at me in surprise. Your body in this mortal world is real. It looks exactly like you in person. After saying that, Xiaoqi scratched her head. Look at what I said. If you look different, you can't get back to life, right? What does that mean? Xiao Qi's expression made me ask one more question. How? You don't know about 100 years of reincarnation. Every 100 years there will be growth. Two identical people appear. If you find the right person, can you really swap souls? I do not know. Suddenly, I remembered Jiang Ling once did. She said she had been searching for this man for 100 years. She said it back then. Should I look for her or me? Felt like something was stuck in my chest. Unable to figure it out, I looked at Xiao Qi. How do you dress like this? We used to be all the same. The black long robe was unbearably tacky. The new leader requested a replacement after taking office. Xiao Qizue. This is a summer casual style. That's what looks cool in winter. And a cloak like a vampire. Walking down the street, it was truly eye-catching. What do you think it looks like? My heart started pounding. What is the name of your newly appointed leader? You know this person well. Xiao Qi came closer. Jiang Ling. He was the same doctor from back then. I told you he has some background. If you outwit her, she'll turn her face and she'll step down to be a leader. I didn't catch what he said next. Jiang Ling. She said Jiang Ling. I want to see her. I grabbed Xiao Qi, but ended up grabbing a lump of air. Why are you so nervous when you see her? You want to accuse me of wrongdoing. Xiao Qi probably thought of her as a host. The troubles he did in the underworld. He jumped back half a pace, very alert. Humans and ghosts are different paths. I advise this gentleman to show some respect. Don't drag on our ghost guards. She smiled. Stay safe and live in the world of the living. Sister, I finished the task in just a few days. Maybe he could succeed in reincarnation. When we meet again, I'll have to call you uncle. Xiao Qi didn't chat with me anymore. Yuan Zi disappeared into the street. After returning, I reviewed the whole incident. Feels like there are many doubts inside. Jiang Ling had a husband who died 100 years ago. Later, she met Su Huan, a boy who looked just like me. Then I gave him my own heart. In the end, I was reborn into Su Huan's body. Could I be Jiang Ling's husband? I've tried Meng Po's soup. He had completely lost all memories of the past. But he developed an unusual affection for Jiang Ling. Is the person of the century-long promise Jiang Ling? I suddenly wanted to see Jiang Ling. But how could ordinary people ever have the chance to meet the ghost guard? I thought of death. He picked up the scalpel and aimed it at his chest. Suddenly, his hand gave out, and the knife fell to the ground. I didn't give up, but tried again, and the ending was the same. Is that you? I shouted into the air. Jiang Ling, I know it's you. Come out. Tears began to stream down his cheeks. I shook my head vigorously. If I were your husband, why? He insisted on saving me like this. Wouldn't it be better for us to be together in the underworld? Jiang Ling did not appear. I don't know why she didn't show up, but after that day I stopped thinking about it. I don't want her to waste 100 years of effort. This body of me is 19 years old. I started going to school step by step like my peers. During that time, many people pursued me, but I never agreed. Because there's a ghost living in my heart. I'm waiting until I'm dead before going down to reunite with her. A few years later, I graduated from university, traveling with friends after graduation to the N-City Museum. A photo from the Republic of China era hangs in the exhibition hall. Above it was a man dressed in a white robe. Doctors inside the tent they had set up. Sideways to treat wounded soldiers. Old Su, look, this doctor is really beautiful. A friend pointed at that photo. My chest suddenly felt like a chill. This doctor was a famous doctor from the Jiangqi period of the Republic of China era. The commentator walked over and said to us, "This is an early cardiothoracic specialist in China. Those who returned from studying abroad to serve their country. But later he became a prisoner. Foreign troops threatened her with heart surgery on enemy generals. She would rather die than submit. To pressure her, they kidnapped her husband." The commentator's tone was deep. However, even in the face of the sharp blade, her husband did not yield. He jokingly claimed he died a worthy death. After that, the doctor disappeared without a trace. I wonder if she went with her husband. I can't stay any longer. After greeting my friends, I hurriedly ran away. It felt as if a fire had gathered in my chest, ready to burn me away. Even Meng Po's soup couldn't stop the flood of memories. I lowered my head and ran outside, suddenly bumping into someone. I hurriedly said. He looked up at the other person and suddenly froze. A smile appeared in her eyes. Be careful, student. This time, if he died, there would be no acquaintances to guide him. I looked at him, his eyes reddening again and again. Tears fell to the ground. You hesitated for a long time but couldn't utter a single word. In the end, the girl couldn't hold back and held me in her arms. The king of hell insists on keeping me to help her for a few years. Keep you waiting. I touched her body from head to toe. You are alive or dead now. Jiang Ling smiled and kissed away the tears on my face. 100 years of medical practice, accumulating virtue and doing good deeds. I saved more people than you took away when you were on duty. How could I not even give the king of hell the blessings of my beloved darling? Later I asked Jiang Ling, why not be a heartless pair of heartless ghost charioteers with me? She said it was because she wanted to take me through the 4 seasons. Take me to see not an inch of the mountains and rivers of this world. Being a ghost is no better than being a good person. Jiang Ling kissed me. In this life, let's live well. Far from the noise of war. This time we can finally live well together.